I'm live. Hey, what's happening, guys? It's a random Sunday live stream. I think it's Sunday, right? Should be Sunday because I don't work today, but I did work some overtime today. The weirdness of working from home full time. Normally, I'm only part time from home, part time in the office, full time from home now because, the world is ending. And so, yeah, so I happen to be on live. And there's already some people here. So, what's up, Burrito Flip? I love that name. Frumpty, what's happening? Rufus, what's up, buddy? Rufus, you're in almost every time I go live, which I think is pretty cool. So I feel like I almost made the mistake of going live so quickly after getting home from the grocery store because there's a couple of people I know who are also live right now. And I can't imagine I'll be able to garner too many people in the chat here while I'm live compared to some other people, but that's okay. It's just fun to be here and talking video games and stuff. Um, Yo, what's up, Burrito Flip? Frumpty already said something. What new things do you want to see in Metroid Prime 4 upgrades gameplay? Man, that's the ultimate question. What's up, Evil Angel? Have I played Resident Evil 3 Remake? Yes. Have I played the remake yet? Yes, I have. I have played it. My girlfriend and I have spent a couple of hours on it across 2 days. We're actually going to start playing it again once I finish up here, actually, with this live stream. What's up, Reese's Pieces? Yeah, Reese's Pieces. So I will say, okay, Frumpty, I will get back to your question about Metroid. As far as Resident Evil 3 goes, only a couple of hours in, and I know the big problems everyone has. The game is really short, and people are upset with how short it is, and that does suck. Like, I've heard how short it is. I don't like hearing how short it is. That makes me very disappointed. But to be fair, I'm still in the middle of playing it. And in the middle of playing it, the game is fantastic. It's definitely more linear than Resident Evil 2, at least so far into the game, which I kind of expected because my limited memory of Resident Evil 3 was that it was also a more linear game. But I have very little knowledge of Resident Evil 3. I know 1 and 2 very well from the PlayStation 1, but not 3 is so much. So the game is really linear, and I can see how it's like kind of going in a straight line towards a quick ending. I get that that's coming. But so far, the game is fantastic. So I hope that whenever I get to the end and experience what the ending is and how long the game is and what the whole journey is from beginning to end, I'm hoping it still feels as amazing as it does right now. But there's a chance that by the time I get to the end, I'll be like, well, that was dumb. It was like, it was only 5 hours and I'm disappointed. We'll see. So, but I'm loving it so far. And so is my girlfriend watching me play it. And then Frumpty, you had asked me what new things I want in Metroid Prime 4. Man, so many things, but also not so many things. I've talked about this before, how I think that Metroid Prime 4 only needs to do a few new things. I don't think it needs to change the Metroid formula or the Prime formula too much. I think that a lot of people have kind of gotten in their head that Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out and be this drastic departure from every prior Metroid game. And like, I mean, maybe that's what Nintendo and Retro are planning, but I feel like that wouldn't be the smartest move. And I don't expect it because, I mean, I've said this before. Prime 4 is a sequel to three specific games that all look, feel, and play the same. Using the same engine, it gets slightly better with each. The same engine and everything about it, and just the progression, the gameplay, and combat and puzzle solving. It's all like the same general tone and formula. And so if they were to come out with a game that's suddenly third person action, with like strategy RPG elements in an open world like Breath of the Wild, it's like, okay, that might make a cool Metroid game separate from Prime 4, but Prime 4 shouldn't be those things. It needs to take all the core tenets from the first three games and just make them better. And then add a couple of small evolutions, but I don't need it to change too much. So tell me if that makes sense. That's kind of been how I've been looking at Metroid Prime 4 here in the, mystery world where we haven't even seen the damn game. So Rufus got in while you can. Yeah, man. Glad you made it in. Um, did I end up playing Animal Crossing with my girlfriend? No. She's been playing it and she very much likes it. She loves it actually. And I've watched it here and there for a couple of minutes and it seems cool and cute for what it is. But I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, you guys. I know a lot of people still bring up like, "Oh, you should just play it. You should just play it." And I get that it's a great game and people love it. And the whole planet, every single person I know and then every single other person on Twitter is playing the game and loving it, and I get that, but I don't know what to say, you guys. Like, I look at the game, I watch it, and it has zero interest to me. It's not appealing to me, that kind of gameplay and that kind of style, and even like the look of the game. Like, I appreciate it. It's great for what it is. There's no question, but it's just not a game for Rob. I don't really want to be a little animal person walking around and, building a house and selling my fruit and paying back bank loans and stuff. Those aren't objectives that are just personally interesting to me. So, but man, people are loving it, and I'm glad. I mean, God, the Nintendo Switch needed this game, right? Holy freaking cow. They needed Animal Crossing so bad, and I know that Animal Crossing fans needed the game, so I'm really glad you guys have the game to play. I'm actually very jealous because obviously I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and I would love to have a new kick-ass Nintendo game to play right now, especially right now because we're all stuck at home, right? So instead, I've been playing I played through Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and this morning I completed Doom Eternal, which was really great. And so now it's like, I'm playing Resident Evil 3. I might get Final Fantasy 7, I'm not sure, but like I just don't have, I don't have a Nintendo game to play. Like a lot of you guys have Animal Crossing. Xenoblade is going to be awesome. I'm totally picking that up. However, I already have and have played that entire game on the Wii. Like I had it since day one on the Wii in North America. So I'm excited to play it again. And I know that there's new content, but it is a game that already exists and a lot of us have already played. So it's not a new Nintendo game. Like it's a Nintendo game I will buy and play in May, but it is not new. It's not going to be a new game to me. And I don't know when I don't have a new Nintendo game to play. Even when No More Heroes 3 comes out, for example, it's not a Nintendo game, even though it is a Switch game I am like dying for. So I kind of went on a little tangent there, but long story short, Animal Crossing's awesome. My girlfriend's loving it, but it's just not for me. Let me see what you guys are saying about it here. I'm trying to be like respectful to Animal Crossing. I don't want to just diss it just because it doesn't appeal to me, but I have to just state the truth. Like I've seen enough of it to know it's just still isn't really for me. Nice cold water. So Burrito Flip says, "Damn it, Rob, I really thought you'd try this one." Well, here's the thing. People will tell me, and they'll tell any non-Animal Crossing fan, they'll say, New Horizons is the best one yet, and this is why you have to try it. And again, I totally get that feeling. But I think that only still makes sense if you're an Animal Crossing fan already. For the most part, obviously there will always be some outlying situations. Like my brother, for example, isn't a big Doom fan, but he did decide to go and play Doom Eternal because he heard it was so good, and he does like Doom Eternal. So those things can happen. But for the most part, you can release a new Animal Crossing that's the best one ever, but it's only the best Animal Crossing game. So it's only the best game where you're some weird animal person or not. I don't even know if you're an animal. Are you animals in the? I don't know. So you're some little person, animal or not, and then there's other animals, and you're still just doing life chores. Like that's just what you're doing. I get that they've taken all of the core mechanics of Animal Crossing and made them the best they've been yet. And obviously, visually, it looks great. I think the music is really great and sounds very pleasant when I hear my girlfriend playing it. But it's only improved what's already Animal Crossing. So when people say, "Oh, it's the best one yet. You have to try it. You'll like this one." I'm like, I don't know if that's true because I'm still just an animal person selling things and paying bank loans. Like, I'll be more excited when an Animal Crossing game comes out that doesn't have animals and chores and digging holes and building houses and paying loans off. Once it becomes a different game, then it would be more appealing to me, if that makes sense. Again, trying not to slam a popular series that I know most of you guys really like. So I did not expect to talk so much Animal Crossing here in just the first few minutes. Um, Favorite songs in Doom Eternal? Oh man, I don't know any individual tunes other than the very first one Mick Gordon released to promo the music, which was amazing. Just the whole score, the whole soundtrack is awesome because it's very like metal, like doom metal, and like loud and chaotic, apocalyptic sounding, which is totally my thing. So I think Mick Gordon's incredible. And so I just love all of the music. I don't know any individual song names or songs from the game, but I love it. So Zubin said, just came here to say Doom Eternal is great. I agree. Ryan says, "Hell yeah, having fun with Resident Evil 3." Yeah, it's really good so far. It's really, really, I mean, I would even say it's great. If the game stayed as good as it is now and just and lasted long enough, I feel like it would be one of my favorite games of the year. But I'm just nervous for whenever the game's gonna end because it seems like it's so short. Burrito Flip says, "I get you though." That's cool. I appreciate that you get it. Rufus says, "Screw Tom Nook." Yo, what's up, Soryuha? So, man, every time I see your name, I try to say it. Soyura. Soyura? Soyura. Soyura Gamer. Uh, no, I think you're human. Hey, Kieran, what's up, man? Says, I hope the older 3D, wait, I hope the older Mario 3D games are coming to Switch this year. I've never played Mario Sunshine and I've always wanted to. Well, man, I feel like I could just jump right into the whole Mario thing, right? Because that's really the biggest news of the past. Well, that and Last of Us being delayed, which I have both of those topics in the title here. Um, Both of those are huge deals. Mario is kind of the bigger thing, just because it's like new news, really. I don't know. I talked about Mario. I made a video about it. I think it's really exciting. It's still not confirmed, guys. Let's remember that. I mean, it seems like without question this is real. I mean, there's just so many people on the insiders. Oh, I see a Star Wars question. Okay, I'm going to get up to that Star Wars question in a minute. Um, so many insiders have said like the Mario thing is real, it's happening. So I feel like we can almost expect it with 100% certainty, but it's not confirmed. So we just have to remember that. But it is so exciting, you guys. Oh my god. And I am somebody who is, I like remasters and remakes a lot, but with 2020 being so barren on the Switch, it should bother me that we might be getting like 5 other remastered games of Mario games I already have in my collection. It's like, okay, that is kind of dumb. But honestly, this one, it's not bothering me. It's actually just making me excited. This news and rumor is totally getting me excited. And you say here, Kieran, you never played Sunshine. Obviously, that's the big hot debate game right now, right? Everyone has been fighting and joking about Sunshine. I made my own jokey tweet about Sunshine because I like Mario Sunshine. And I even made my top 10 Mario games of all time and I included it low on my top 10 games list. Sunshine is a good game, you guys. It's not for everybody. It is damn hard, and like it did have control flaws that made it even harder than the level design made it, right? Like the level design is hard already. Then you throw in the not perfect controls and it makes it even harder. And it's like, okay, that's not great. But honestly, it's such a great concept. It's a super creative, imaginative Mario game. It's very fun. It's taken the same formula we saw in Mario 64 and in Galaxy, and it's got the hub world thing, and your hub world is Isle Delfino, and you find these little painting things, and you go into the painting thing, and then you go to a place where there's like shines that you get instead of stars, and you're using the flood. And I just think it's great. It's just a really great game. It's like I already said, it's not for everybody, so I get why it's divisive, but I don't know. Anyone who says that it's like bad, if they're otherwise a Mario fan, let's say somebody is a Mario fan, and then they say, well, Sunshine is just straight up bad. Like it's not a good or well-made game. I have to almost say that they're wrong. Like, I mean, everyone's opinion can be theirs. Like, you can have favorites or whatever, but like, I think objectively, even though the controls are not perfect, that game is still objectively a well-made, good, well-crafted Mario game. It just is. If somebody doesn't really care for Mario, I could see why it would stand out as a little bit worse. So when it comes to the remaster, then I feel like it's the perfect opportunity to make the game the best version it can be. I think that that's why Mario Sunshine to me is one of the more exciting titles of the remaster rumor, is because this is a game that's rife for perfecting. Same with Mario 64. Even though that's like my favorite Mario game of all time, when I played it in 96, that's a game that if it's made modern the right way, if they could make Mario 64 modern the same way they're making Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition more modern, that could be the most incredible game experience like ever, you guys. I mean, think about that. Think of what they're doing to Xenoblade from the Wii and how they're making that look, you know, look visually and then also look gameplay wise right now. that's so incredible what they've achieved. And like, what if they did the same thing to Mario 64? It was, you know, the same way if they did the same thing to like Ocarina of Time. Like, that's the way you want remasters and remakes to be done. And so I really would love it if with Mario 64 they go this extra mile and make it look like they've put that much work into it, that they did with Xenoblade. So it'll be really interesting. I know I'm kind of just rambling on about the Mario thing here, guys. But yeah, Kieran, like if this is true and if we see Sunshine and if they've remastered it, because I do suspect, you guys, here's the thing. And this is speculation only, okay? But I do worry that if there's truth to this, the remaster part of the rumor still makes me a little bit nervous because it just seems like that's so much work. And it also seems so like way too good to be true, right? You're going to remaster and update the visuals and the gameplay and maybe even add new content to these 4 or 5 huge Mario games, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Sunshine, Mario 64. You're going to do that all in 1 year? I don't know, man. That seems like a lot. It seems too good to be true. So I worry that if there's truth to this, what if they're just ports? Like, let's prepare ourselves. Let's let that idea like jumble around in our brains. What if what they're doing are just ports? And somehow in the behind the scenes, you know, game of telephone that's been happening with the information, you know, one insider knows what they're doing and they pass that information on, which gets passed on, which gets passed on before eventually the news came out to the public. What if in that translation of information, one of the things that got lost in translation was that these are just straight ports, but they're not remasters? What if somebody thought that they were remasters and that became part of the story by the time it hit the public? And it's just going to be identical, like standard definition, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Sunshine 64. You know, what if like I don't even know what to say about that if that would be the case. It's like I guess it's better than nothing, but the problem would be if that's true, if is the word here, guys, right? I'm just guessing and just we're just talking stuff out loud to ourselves. If that turns out to be true, I feel like it would be disappointing simply because the rumor first hit the news and included the remaster part of it, right? Like it hit the news as remasters, not as ports. So it would be a downgrade to what people would be expecting. And I think people would almost be upset if it turns out that they're ports. So anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. I know it was a lot to kind of unload on you guys about the Mario thing, but I've been thinking about it a lot. I mean, I made a 15-minute video about it, and I've been thinking about it since, and I've been seeing other people talk about it, and it's got me thinking more. And it's so exciting, but there are parts of it that makes me nervous. What if it's not true? Or what if they're ports and not remasters? These things make me very nervous about the Mario thing, even though it's exciting. Um, I know I missed that Star Wars question. I need to go back up and get that stuff. So I know I keep missing questions, guys. So feel free to repost them if I missed your question, because it's easy for me to miss them. Rufus says, hope the Mario rumors are true. Just came by to say hello before bed. It's past midnight here. Oh, T. Fernbach. Well, good night if you're still here past my blabbing. Kiki Lord says, I'm 70% sure the Mario rumor. Whoops, I'm hitting my water over. The Mario rumor is true. I mean, this is just too good to be true. Wait, so you think it is true, but then you think it's too good to be true? Um, Sunshine had its flaws, but it wasn't bad. Still a great game. I love the aesthetic. Yeah, for sure. Hi, I'm new to the channel. Really like the content. It's definitely flawed, but Sunshine is an amazing game. See, I like people talk positively about Sunshine, man. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. I hope out of everything Mario 64 gets the overhaul. That is the best 3D platform I've ever played. Tall order, man. That's a really tall order, but I tend to agree. The only thing though is how do they plan to fix the flood? Because that relied on GameCube control analog. You know, that's a good point because there was a thing with the flood, again, for those who don't know it, where I have to remember, I have it still, it's been a while, but like the triggers, because they use those, it's like an analog pull and a digital click, I think is what the GameCube triggers were. And so you would pull it, which would do, what would that do? Just a regular spray. And then when you pulled it to a click, it would do something else. Maybe it would do like a big water burst or something crazy like that. I don't remember. It's been a while. Where did I miss here? MDK says, I think Nate was thinking they were just going to plunk it onto the Switch, no remaster on Spawncast last night. Okay. I missed what he was saying. And I mean, Nate, he's a good buddy of mine. Like, we're friends. I've done the Spawncast with him several times. And I know he hates Mario Sunshine. Like I said, a lot of people hate Mario Sunshine. So that's fair. But he thinks that, so he's basically saying what I said. Like, what if it's just a straight port? What if it is, you guys? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Greetings from LA. Hello, Santos. I've been stuck in the house, so I've been playing GTA 5 to scratch my itch of going outside. Yeah, it's like a fake outside world, isn't it? Never really got into GTA 5 or any GT game, really. Kiki says, I wouldn't really mind. I mean, the Galaxy games still look great. Or wait, the games still look great, especially Galaxy. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's the thing. Like, I mean, all the Mario games, they use such a design style. There's such an art style to them that in a lot of ways they hold up. Even if you didn't maybe remaster them or make them HD. The Galaxy games in particular obviously are so gorgeous. It's weird because even though they're standard definition, I still prefer the look of Galaxy. Actually, I prefer everything about Galaxy to Odyssey, but specifically on the look side, I prefer the way the Galaxy games look, even to Mario Odyssey. Like, I mean, I don't know, Odyssey is like really great, but I just think Galaxy just did everything better, from the gameplay to the ideas and visuals. And so, if you brought over like just a port of Galaxy 1 and 2 to the Switch, and they were like just standard definition, right? They weren't even HD. Yeah, they'd still look good. You know, they would look good for sure. Um, but I don't know. I feel like if anything, maybe it would be the easiest to bring those games and just make them HD. God, they'd look so freaking good in HD. Oh my god, you guys. I can't even like stand thinking about how cool those games would be in HD. Um, let me scroll down to the bottom here. I keep missing stuff. Burrito Flip says, also the Star Wars question anybody else asked, will you get Lego Skywalker Saga for Switch? Yes, I will. I'm very excited for Lego Skywalker Saga, even though I did not like The Rise of Skywalker. And because that movie wasn't good, I feel like the whole Disney trilogy was just a huge freaking letdown. But I am still excited for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game. Like, it's the first one I want to play since the original Lego Star Wars. So I'm very, very excited for that. If Sunshine didn't exist, Odyssey wouldn't exist. Says Wi-Fi. Maybe. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I guess that's true, but I think that's true of any game in any series. Like, if you were to go back and remove like any random Zelda game, obviously it's the butterfly effect. Like, anything is going to change. Is that what the butterfly effect is? No, that's like I guess it kind of is. It's like the butterfly effect for time. Yeah, it is exactly. That's the butterfly effect. So it's not like if we were to go back in time and pull Ocarina of Time out of history and like pretend that game was never made, it's not like the Zelda games after that would still have been made, right? Like, it's not like they would have just made Majora's Mask if they had never made Ocarina of Time before it. Everything has to happen that way for everything afterwards to happen. Um, and so, yeah, like obviously what Nintendo learned when they created Mario Sunshine helped them decide to then make, every Mario game afterwards, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D Land, 3D World, New Super Mario Brothers, and then Mario Odyssey. Like, that's just kind of the way of it. Like, I don't really see any other specific similarities though, and that's probably what you're talking about. I don't think you're talking about the space-time continuum the way I am with the butterfly effect, but I think you're talking about there's like design similarities maybe between Sunshine and Odyssey. And like, I don't necessarily see that myself. I mean, they're both good. They're both good Mario games, and like they obviously look and sound similar, but I don't know if I see too many other similarities there. Um, Burrito Flip says, dude, I love Force Awakens, hated Last Jedi, didn't even watch Rise of Skywalker, but I'll probably still get Lego stuff. You should watch those movies. I actually like Last Jedi. I think it gets a bad rap. It's very low on my list. Don't get me wrong, but it's good. Rise of Skywalker, though. Rise of Skywalker would have been better if it actually followed The Last Jedi instead of tried to change things. They missed such an opportunity. God, it kills me. Like, ugh. Makes me so upset. What's up, Rob? Just made it to your stream. What's up, Larry? Good to see you, man. Let me scroll up here. See what else I missed. Do you get a Metroid Prime vibe from the new Doom games? Yes, Games Man, I do. I felt that with the 2016 Doom. One of the things that surprised me so much about it and made me love it was that it totally felt like a faster and bloodier version of Metroid Prime. Like especially the way you traverse, you like find secrets and new paths. I will say, I think the first Doom, the 2016 Doom game, felt more like Prime than Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal has less of that feel to me. Maybe that's because it's not new the way it was when the 2016 game came out. But yeah, those games definitely have a Prime vibe, which is really cool. Really, really cool. Uh, I think it's going to be like MK8 Deluxe. So they have time to make better games while people play the remakes. But I guess it's about Mario, Peep Gamers, what you're talking about. Uh, oh yeah, so that's that question. Let me go back down here. Okay. So Infinite Inspiration says, would you rather have Metroid 5 now on Switch, or do you want them to wait and release it on next gen hardware? Good question. I feel like if I could actually choose what they're doing, we already know Prime 4 is delayed, and I think that that's far off. So I would actually more prefer to have Metroid 5 sooner than later on the Switch, and then make Metroid Prime 4 a launch game for the next console. And I already still think that's possible. More than likely, it would be cross gen, to be fair. But I like the idea of a souped up next gen Metroid Prime launching the next console. And then if they released a Metroid 5 this year or next year, that would be fine for me. So if I could pick, that's what I would like to do. The Disney trilogy was so meh. I agree. Hey Rob, did you hear what happened to the new Cooking Mama game about the crypt mining? No, I have no idea. I do not follow Cooking Mama, Austin. I have no idea what that's about. You can feel free to let me know. Do you think Samus can make it to the next Mario Kart game like the way Link is in Mario Kart 8? Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people expect that the next Mario Kart game is very likely going to have like a bunch of different Nintendo characters. I mean, how could they not? Like what a missed opportunity it would be to not do that. Whoops, gonna close that. Move my Twitter window. It would just, like, yeah, Wi-Fi even says Nintendo Kart. People have been asking for a Nintendo Kart for a while, Super Smash Kart, and I think it's an obvious thing they have to do. They'd be crazy not to, and it would be really awesome. And of course, Samus would be one of those characters, right? So yeah, I'd like to see Samus in it. Nintendo Kart, yeah. Do you think Star Fox would be in the next Mario Kart? I do. If I think Samus would be in, I think Star Fox for sure. Oh, Cobb says, "What do you think of Jedi Fallen Order?" Freaking amazing. That is the best. I've said this before, even on stream. I've said this. That game to me is the best thing that's come out of Star Wars in the Disney era. It's better than all 5 movies that they made. Is Jedi Fallen Order? It feels the most Star Wars. It feels the most George Lucas, and it's also just a great game. Like just from the game is fun, the gameplay is great, but the story and the lore, I think Cal was a great addition, new character. I was nervous about him, but he turned out to be great, and I loved the story that it told with the Order 66 and all that stuff. It was freaking awesome. The ending, it's funny because the ending, got spoiled in that commercial over like Christmas, and I struggle with that because maybe it's just because I'm such a Star Wars fan and I'm so tuned in. I already expected the ending of that game to be what it was. Like I expected the event that happened at the end to already be a part of the game. I thought it was going to be more a part of the game. And I think that a lot of people maybe miss this, but there's a line in that game, and I don't even remember who says it, to be fair. I think it was is it Talia who was the bad character, who's seventh sister? I think it was Seventh Sister when she was saying something at some point, who said something that alluded to that, and it was very obscure. But to me, I immediately saw it and I was like, oh, I know what that means. That's going to happen in this game. And so I already and so then it happened at the end and it was really great, but it wasn't really a surprise to me the way it seems like it was a surprise to most people. So yeah, I freaking love Jedi Fallen Order. Great game. Do I think they'll make a direct sequel? Absolutely, to Fallen Order. Yeah, I think they will. They might have. Did they already say that they would? I don't think they said that. Who knows what EA is doing? They're so stupid. But they made a great game. So Respawn made a great game. So I will say that. Favorite Star Wars villain that's not Vader or the Emperor? Easy, Ganon Jones. For me, that's Asajj Ventress. She is my favorite. Oh, Faison says, hey, dude, did you ever happen to listen to the new Tool album? Absolutely, I did. Thoughts if you did. I personally loved it. I think it's their second best record. Yeah, I think it's freaking amazing. Fear Inoculum, I'll tell you what, the first time I heard it when it came out, I was like, this is fine. It's fine. I just thought it was okay. Like, well, I thought it was more than okay. I thought it was good, but I wasn't like blown away 13 years since the last Tool album. This is so good. But as I continued to listen to it, and I really like settled into the mood, and I really listened to the music and what they were doing, specifically Danny Carey, who's a freaking legend as a drummer. I love Danny Carey. He's inhuman, that guy. And I listened to what Danny Carey was doing, like his approach, his writing style, his composition, everything he's doing polyrhythmically. I was like blown away. So after about 3 or 4 listens, it became one of my favorite albums of all time. I don't know if I could put it as number 2, because I would put it above 10,000 Days without question. But I think Undertow and Enema and maybe even Opiate, even though it's got all that live stuff, is so good. So tough call, but yes, I love Fear Inoculum. Great, great CD. Yo, what's up, Jono? Um, do you think Kamiya was the reason Bayo 3 was announced way too early because he's recently announced games way too early? No, I don't know. I think that was probably Nintendo. Excuse me. That was probably Nintendo wanting to announce it. Like they knew the game was going to be made. It was a big thing to announce, in the first year of the Switch's life, you guys. So they wanted to probably get great announcements out as soon as they can. I'm sure it's why Metroid Prime 4 was announced so early as well. They were like, let's keep the momentum rolling for this thing and let people know great games are coming. And because they announced the Bayonetta 1 and 2 ports, they were like, well, let's just throw Bayonetta 3 at the end. And I think that was smart. So I don't really think that was a Kamiya thing. That felt like a Nintendo thing to me. I wonder how much Star Wars Racer will cost on Switch. Yeah, probably 20 to 30 bucks, somewhere in that range is my guess. Strange question. Do you live in Colorado? I'm also from here if you are. Well, right now, Games Man, no. My girlfriend and I don't live in Colorado, but we are from Colorado. We moved out here to the Pacific Northwest a couple of years ago for work for me. And so we're here now, but Colorado, Denver is home. We go back several times a year. Obviously not right now. No one's traveling, but yeah, we've been back. We have so many friends and family there. It's still home. Denver will always be home to us, even though right now we live on the West Coast. And we go back regularly. So yes, Colorado is the best state. That's fact. Indisputable. Colorado, number 1. So that's awesome that you're from Colorado, man. Fellow Coloradan. Very cool. Hey, what's up, Falcom Scott? What's up, buddy? Good to see you here, man. Prequel Trilogy says, you think Metroid Prime VR could work or is doable? I do. Metroid in VR, people have talked about it a lot because obviously it's first person. VR works best in first person. Nintendo dabbled into it with the Labo. We know Metroid Prime 4 is coming, so there's a new first person Metroid game. What if Nintendo decides to make a VR? And I don't expect that, but do I think the concept is cool? Yes, I do think the concept is cool. And I would like to try it, even though I'm not a big VR guy. Like, it's not very interesting to me at all. It's just not appealing. But if they came out with a Metroid game that could be played in VR, I wouldn't want them to do like a Half-Life Alyx thing where it's like a VR only. But if there was if Prime 4 just happened to have a VR mode and there was a good VR, not a Labo VR that I could play it on, yes, that would be cool. And I would try it. I absolutely would. But I don't want them to do like a Metroid VR only game, And if they ever do make their own VR set, like for the next gen console, There's a good chance that they would honestly make a VR Metroid game, which would be kind of annoying, but I guess we just have to see. So I'm only at 35 minutes, but I'm probably only going to go another 10 or so. Don't have as long as normal today, guys, but I'm just giving you the heads up, 10 or 15 more minutes, and I'll probably have to cut out of here. Um, you think new Donkey Kong game is possible this year? Asks Mitch. This year, maybe, but I do think maybe next year. Basically, yes, I think we would probably see a new Donkey Kong game on the Switch. That seems like a series Nintendo would want to bring to the Switch. I've also been predicting Punch-Out. I think Punch-Out's going to make a return on the Switch as well before all is said and done. Oh my god, I'm talking my voice out here. I feel like I'm already losing my voice. So much talking. Love how I've been aired 3 times. I'm not sure what that means. Infinite says, first time I've caught one of your streams. So sorry for all the long questions. Do you think the next Nintendo console will feature backwards compatibility with the Switch? Oh, good question. Yeah, thanks for being in the stream too. That's just no one can answer that right now, unfortunately. That's something we're just gonna have to wait to see what they do. Sorry, guys, I'm moving some stuff here. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Like, because if the next console isn't a Switch and doesn't play cartridges, then I don't know how it could be backwards compatible. That's the unique thing about the Switch using the little cartridges. So, but is it possible? Yes. I think if they do another Switch, then yeah, then it could happen. And I think that they would probably do it. Check out Overlanders on the Switch. I haven't heard of that, but I'll look into it. I had the same opinion. Half-Life Alex started the conversation with my friend and made me think of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't want them to do a Half-Life Alex for Metroid. I just saw a question I wanted to. Thanks for the stream, Rob. You're welcome, Tony. I saw a question I wanted to answer. Where did it go? Too many questions. Too many questions. Well, Evil Angel says, is Capcom remaking another Resident Evil or is it a new game? Well, the 3 remake just came out, so I'm pretty sure that the next game they're going to be making is Resident Evil 8, and there was a rumor that showed up last night about that. I mean, heck, I thought they were going to announce Resident Evil 8 before Resident Evil 3 was announced, the remake. And I was shocked when Resident Evil 3 was announced. But as we've learned, the game is very short. It reuses a lot of assets and locations from Resident Evil 2. And I think that that's the sacrifice we all made to have another Resident Evil game come out only a year after Resident Evil 2. And again, I'm still enjoying my current playthrough of 3. It's blowing my mind, but knowing it's so short means they probably should have not done it this way. And like, why wouldn't they have just announced Resident Evil 8 instead? I'm more excited at the concept of a new game than I am for a remake of an old game, even though I think these remakes that they do are great. The Resident Evil 1 remake is my second favorite Resident Evil game of all time, you guys. So I'm not against these remakes, but I would be definitely more excited about a Resident Evil 8, like a new game. So right now we just have to wait and see what Capcom decides to announce. What if Metroid Other M was a fusion remake? I'd like to see that can potentially fill the gaps for Nintendo this year. I've talked about that before. Pikmin is one. I think Pikmin 4 makes a lot of sense. I think a Punch-Out game makes a lot of sense. You say unannounced, so like, we wouldn't count Breath of the Wild, for example. I've long said I think a new Metroid game, whether it's a Prime Trilogy, excuse me, Prime Trilogy remake or like a new game, like a new 2D game, one of those could be one that could fill out this year. And Paper Mario, if that rumor is true, which it sounds kind of true, then I think Paper Mario also. So those would be games. Falcom says Resident Evil 3 remake is awesome. I agree. I totally agree. Do you think Nintendo will make a 2D Metroid? Yes, I do, Josephine. I certainly do think that they will on the Switch. Austin says, I heard rumors they're making Resident Evil 8 slated for 2021. Yeah, I think very likely. I guess it's going to go back to first person like 7, which is fine. I thought 7 was great. I liked the change to first person, but I'm one of the few people out there who would really like to see them go back to static camera and tank controls. They would have to make tank controls an option to be fair, but I would like to see them do that. Do I think Breath of the Wild 2 will be on Switch or next gen? I think it's going to be on Switch. I think it's probably next year, and then I think the next gen console will may come out the year after that. So more than likely, I'm going to put Breath of the Wild 2 probably on Switch. Do I like Doom Eternal? Yes, I do, Jeff. I just beat it this morning. I'm not sure which one I like more, Doom Eternal or Doom 2016. Believe it or not, it's not a slam dunk for me. So, yeah. With the return of Episode 1 Pod Racing, do you think the 2005 Clone Wars GameCube on Switch could happen? Man, do I think they would do it? No, I don't. But do I want it? Yes, I do. And I think that game was earlier than 2005. I'm pretty sure that game would have been around '02 or '03 because that was after Attack of the Clones. It was not after Revenge of the Sith. It was on, I think it was on all 6th-gen systems. I'm looking it up. I'll just do GameCube here. Or it was at least GameCube and PS2. Ah, yes. Oh, wait. Is this the right Clone Wars? Hold up. Let me check. Let me check. Everyone calm. So it was also Xbox. It was Xbox, GameCube, PS2. And it was October 28th, 2002. I was correct. The same year Attack of the Clones came out. So I think that's probably the Clone Wars game you're talking about. That was like all vehicle based, and it was super, super good. There's a 2002 game, and I'd love it, man. I would love it. But here's the thing: Pod Racer, even though that's an older game, that game has like a legacy. That game was very popular. Everyone was playing it and talking about it. It's famous for being a great Star Wars game, so it makes sense for them to bring that game over. The Clone Wars game is not like, it's not bad, and it wasn't that people disliked it, but it's not famous. People don't, I mean, most people probably don't even know about it. You're one of the few people I've ever heard even bring it up. I thought I was the only one that remembered it. So I don't know if it would have the same impact the way Bounty Hunter or Knights of the Old Republic or Pod Racer do. That's just my guess. So, but I would love to see it, man. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Hey Rob, I hope you're having wait. Hey Rob, hope you're having a great day. Just saw you were streaming and Doom Eternal is awesome. Yes, I agree. Miss and Mr. Gaming. I think I've seen you on Twitter, right? I've seen you guys on Twitter. Thank you so much for jumping in the stream. And yeah, Doom Eternal. I mean, I just beat it this morning before I worked for a couple of hours, and it was great. The ending was insane. Let me know if you've beaten it. I'm curious, actually, if you guys have beaten that game, because that final battle was crazy. It was freaking crazy. Um, any plans going to Japan soon? Asks Falcom. Yeah, actually, I almost went last year. Some of my bandmates and another buddy of ours did go. Unfortunately, I did not join them because we were planning on buying a house over Christmas. So all of our money needed to go to a house. But the house that we were trying to buy had a really poor inspection, so we had to step away from that purchase. And instead, we're gonna buy this summer, if you can even buy a house this summer with the state of the world. But the point is, absolutely, I plan on going to Japan next year. Probably makes the most sense. A, if it's safe to do so, and B, provided we do get to buy our house this summer, then yeah, next year is maybe going to be our Japan trip. Did I ever play Metal Arms? No, I remember that game though, Metal Arms, but I never played it myself. Am I excited for Axiom Verge 2? Absolutely. Yeah, I actually played the first one on the channel. Like I did a couple of Let's Play videos. Yes, Twitter. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Twitter. Haven't beaten it yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. That last battle, it's gonna get you. It's, the game is already hard, so if you picture what a hard final battle would be, that's this one. They did not skimp on that final battle. So good luck to you guys. It's crazy. Really crazy. But it's really cool. It's a good battle. Thoughts on The Mandalorian, asks Josephine. So I've talked about it a little bit. Mandalorian to me is good, but not great. I don't want to say it's overrated, but I do think that people who like, so a lot of people sing its praises and they think it's the best thing Disney's done, and it's just so good. It's some of the best Star Wars you've ever seen. And everyone's opinion is their own. I don't want to tell anyone that what they think is wrong, but I will say I think that people have been a little blinded by Baby Yoda when it comes to Mandalorian. I think people can't see past the cuteness of Baby Yoda to realize that the show Baby Yoda is in, The Mandalorian, is pretty simple and it's a little hollow. I think that's the thing is I watched The Mandalorian and I'm like, I don't feel much. I'm not getting much. There's not a deep story and there's not deep character growth and there's not a lot of emotion. There's no themes. It is themeless. And Star Wars is built on its themes. It's why I think the Disney trilogy also kind of falls apart because even though they're fine, those movies are like okay, there's no theme and there's no real impact. Last Jedi tried and it almost got there. There's some really great stuff in Last Jedi. But all three of those movies, they fail to get there. They fail to get what Star Wars is about. And so to me, The Mandalorian, it definitely looks the part without question. And I think that's something else that has people a little kind of misguided with what they're seeing. It looks like Star Wars, but to me, it does not yet feel like Star Wars. It doesn't have the feeling. But I will say, it was still good. Like it wasn't. I liked it. It's interesting enough. It's fine. And knowing that they're making a season 2 just makes me hopeful that they continue to hone their craft and eventually get there. And maybe season 2 can have a little bit more substance and meat to it because there's no meat. There's nothing. I'm not taking anything away from the Mandalorian. I'm like, oh, that looks neat. Baby Yoda's cute. His armor is awesome and they fight sometimes. This is neat. That's all the Mandalorian is. There's no story being told. And there's very little character arc with the Mandalorian, you know. I mean, they tried a little bit at the end there, and it's I'm excited to see where they go with it, but there's not a lot to it. So this is just my opinion. If that makes sense. So it's not the Clone Wars. Oh yeah, it's not the Clone Wars. That's true. Clone Wars has tons of depth and meat and substance to it. You're right. And Mandalorian is not that. Not at all. Random question. Do you think Ubisoft will make a new 3D Rayman game? Oh, I would love that, Roey. Oh my God. I mean, I would love a new 2D one also, but Rayman 2 is a great, 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 great game. Great game. So yes, I would like another 3D Rayman also. Rayman 3 wasn't as good, but it was still fine. It was fine. What's been the toughest, most satisfying boss battle for you? In what game? Are you talking about Doom? Which game are you talking about? Would I like to see Mortal Kombat Collection soon? Yes, I would, Falcom. Oh my God. I love the old ones, man. Where am I in Resident Evil 3? Where did we get? So what did we just do last night? You know, we beat the first battle. We went through the sewers. You know, you fight Nemesis on the roof and you get past that. So we did that yesterday. Where did we get after that? I mean, we probably played like an hour past that. Something like an hour past oh, and then we were on the train. And we're on the train and the train crashes. I guess I'm spoiling. These are just little timed events. It doesn't mean much. So we're after that. Sometime after that part. I guess that's the best I can remember, even though it was just last night that I played it and I can't remember. Could I do a top 10 favorite games of all time? I've thought about it. I think a lot of people could guess some of them, but I've definitely thought about it. I might do that sometime. Mighty Ryan says Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine. Well, for me, it's 64. But as you guys heard me say, I still defend Sunshine. Sunshine's a good game. But 64 is way better. Way, 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 way better. I'm losing my voice. Oh, and then I get a super chat. I was close to shutting the stream down. Santos, dude, thank you so much for a super chat donation, man. That is very cool. He says, Rob, I started playing Breath of the Wild DLC per your recommendation from your last live chat. I love it. We'll finish it once I finish RE3. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much, Santos. You also stay safe and healthy. That goes true for everybody. Stay the frick indoors. Unless you have to go out for work or you have to go out to go like grocery shopping, you know, stay indoors. Oh my God. And yeah, so Breath of the Wild DLC was really, really good. I was very happy with it. And what's great is because they upgrade all of your champion skills. You get like an upgrade for each of those 4 skills, which you can use, you know, in the end game to just keep playing. And then you also unlock the motorcycle. What do they call the Zero Cycle or something? I can't remember what it's called. But that thing's great. That thing is really awesome. I love having that to drive around Hyrule. It's really cool. And like the story is neat, you get to go back to Divine Beasts and do some more fighting and stuff and puzzle and like, puzzle solving. The bosses are kind of hard, I thought. Yeah, Peep Gamer says the DLC is hard though. It is. I mean, it really is hard. But it's very good. Hiba Hussein says, "Do you feel? I hope I said your name right, Hiba. Do you feel YouTubers are more inclined to make more content because of the thing that we don't say?" Um, okay, maybe it's a really good question, actually. I think I think what's happening is probably what I'm kind of going through, which is most of us are just home. And so there's two things happening. One, more people are home watching YouTube, right? I think we're all watching YouTube more often than we already do because our schedules are more freed up. It's a great way to kill time. So people are watching more, and also people who are YouTubers have more time. I'm an example, of somebody who's like, I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not a full-time YouTuber. So for me, when I don't have my regular job keeping me as busy, it's like it gives me more time to be able to make videos and do live streams and stuff. And granted, I am still working. I'm working from home. So I'm even actually working more. But because I'm always home, I still technically have more time to do live streams, for example, and to make a video. And I think other YouTubers, whether they're full-time or part-time or whatever, just everyone being stuck at home means people have more time to do stuff. So I think it's a combination of the motivations there. Views and subscriber counts seem to be up for the most part. They are for me. I mean, they were up even before this breakout, but still, it seems like they're up. So there's motivation to do it for that reason. And then also people have the time. So I think that's kind of what I've seen with people doing that. Miguel says, I feel like a lot of YouTubers are not taking advantage of the situation that we're in by the way. See, I think I'm seeing quite a bit of that. But Miguel, you say maybe you're not seeing that. So I'm curious. Do I think Mario Kart 9 could be released this year? Yeah, there's a chance. When I did the Nintendo Direct podcast with on Spawn Waves channel that he posted a couple weeks ago, he mentioned how he really thinks Mario Kart 9 has a good shot this year. I'm about 50-50 on it, but I do think it could happen. Oh man, Reese's Pieces says, "What are some flaws in the original Metroid Prime trilogy that you want to see improved in Prime 4? Visuals aside, of course." Ooh, I like that question. You're asking me to find flaws in like 3 of my favorite games. I mean, one of them is my favorite game. Flaws. What are the flaws? I've not really thought about that enough, but I mean, they're not perfect. They're perfect for me, but they're not perfect games. I think that navigation could be improved. I love the map system in those games, but navigation and understanding where you're going, what you're looking at, what the verticality is of the spaces that you're in. I think that they could improve that quite a bit. So the map system could use some improvement. The navigation could use some improvement. I think that the combat could be okay, not improved, but updated. One of the things I maybe want updated or evolved in Metroid Prime 4 is definitely the combat. There was another one I was just thinking. Oh my god, what was it? There was a really good one I was going to bring up. Flaws in the original Metroid Prime trilogy that I want to see improved upon. Oh my gosh. Well, one of them is respawning enemies. So I don't remember if this is the same in Prime 3. I think it's the same in all 3 games. When you go 2 rooms beyond a room you've been in, the enemies are resetting. So basically, enemies are resetting 2 rooms back at all times. If you're in this room and you go to the next room, you clear out you're in a room, you clear this room out. You go to this next room, you clear this room out. You've got 2 rooms next to each other that you've cleared out as I do this kind of puppetry here. You've cleared out these 2 rooms. You can go back and forth between these 2 rooms and the enemies won't respawn. But as soon as you go to the next room, this first room's enemies respawn. So as you're walking along from room to room, 2 rooms behind you, it's constantly respawning enemies at all times. If that makes sense, if you guys can picture that visually. And I think that that's kind of annoying. When I go back and play those games now, it is one of the things that frustrates me today. Because in a lot of modern games, there's more incentive to fight and to defeat enemies, right? Whether it's because they give you whether the upgrades and the items that they drop have more value, or you're getting experience points. That's obviously raising your experience to unlock a skill tree or whatever. There's a value to that. And so respawning enemies that way could be helpful for grinding. But in the first three games, there you don't grind. You're not grinding anything. That's not what Metroid is about. There's no experience. You find items in singular locations. You don't get important items from enemies. And so it becomes annoying and kind of a nuisance to always be refighting enemies when you're backtracking. You're kind of like, why aren't you dead? I already killed you, so please stay dead. But they don't do that. So in Metroid Prime 4, I would like them to either incentivize you to engage in combat more by giving you some reason to want to fight, so that maybe there's a reason to, not grind, but I don't want you to have to grind, but incentivize to fight is something I think would be great. Or they just remove the respawning enemies. Like maybe they respawn when you save, like a Dark Souls or something. I mean, that could be okay. But I really hate, Metroid, it's based on backtracking, and you're always backtracking, and you're always killing the same enemies over and over again. And so it just kind of gets like annoying. Even though it's like my favorite game of all time, it's a flaw in that game, in my opinion. It's one of the few flaws in my all-time favorite video game. So that's something I would like to see them improve, if that makes sense. Tell me if that made any sense to you guys. Thanks, Miguel. I appreciate it, buddy. The goat says, I'm seriously losing my voice. I think I'm gonna have to cancel here, guys, or end the stream here. But Goat says you have a podcast script, but yet no actual podcast. Why? You do podcasts like discussions with Spawnways. Why not have your own? Oh, bro, I don't understand your question. I have a podcast script, but no actual podcast. I don't understand. How do I have a podcast script? I'm confused. I am super confused. Yeah, I got what you were getting at. Okay, perfect sense. Cool. I'm glad that made sense. I'm just yelling at you guys about Metroid. That's what these live streams are. Rob yells at you for an hour about video games and Metroid. Kinda a podcast script? I'm so confused, you guys, on the podcast script. What does that mean? Uh, Miss and Mr. Gaming says, I thought the respawning was on purpose as a way to farm health. I mean, and that's a good point. That's the only thing that you can get out of fighting enemies is health. But if you think about that, it's almost counterproductive, because fighting enemies, you have to run the you yeah. Fighting enemies means you're always running the risk of like losing health. So it's like if you clear a room and you've got like 90% health, you're like, I'm good. I've got 90% health. Now let me go backwards, and as long as I don't run into anyone else, I'm not going to lose health, and then I also don't need to get health. But I mean, the flow of those games doesn't really work that way. So I see what you're saying. Really getting health is like health and missiles, right? Your missile ammo. That's the only stuff that you really get from enemies. But that to me doesn't feel like the same incentive as getting lore from enemies, or getting item upgrades from enemies, weapons from enemies, or experience. Like those things have more like long-term help. And those are the kind of things you grind for in other games. And so I think that we need something different, I think, than just health. But it's a good point, because yeah, you're right. Health is something you would farm. Um, he means what you're doing now is kind of a podcast script, because you're talking about different. Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. Because yeah, but I don't even really. But honestly, I don't do that though. Here's the problem. Here's the way I do the live streams. Like I have topics that are relevant that I think make sense to talk about, and I put them in the title, but I don't really like OJ's a good, if you guys are familiar with OJ and Player Essence, he's a great example of how he has a very structured a live stream, kind of not script, but like a format, and he puts topics in his titles, and he will talk about that topic and like get his thoughts out, and then kind of go back and go through questions, and then go on to another topic. And that's really smart. What I do is I really just get on and I just read your guys' questions. And I do put topics in there to kind of convince you guys to maybe bring up questions about those topics. But I don't really like turn on a live stream just to talk more about it unless you guys give me questions about it. So maybe that's what it means. That's the way I do it. What games are you playing now, Rob? I'm playing Resident Evil 3 Remake. I made a video about it. I'm not sure what video I made about it. I did want to make a podcast, like an actual podcast. That's true. While in 2D, you'd move generally quicker, especially with speed booster and screw attack. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Speed boost in Prime 4. Yeah, well, you know what else they could put in Prime 4? I could see why some Metroid purists would not like this. And I consider myself a Metroid purist, obviously, but this is one I would be okay with, would be fast travel. There's no fast travel in Metroid games. You know, you take elevators to different sections in the Prime games, actually in all the games, but there's no fast travel. So maybe there's something they could do there. And that's not the same as getting in your gunship in Metroid Prime 3. That's not fast travel. That's different. Those are loading screens. Are you familiar with the Monster Hunter series? Oh, yes, I am. Opinion about the movie or a possible Monster Hunter 5 on Switch? I'd love it. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. Monster Hunter World's one of my favorite all-time games. I think the movie could be fine. I don't know what to think about the movie. I don't know. I'll see it probably, but who knows? And then, yeah, we need more new Monster Hunter games on Switch. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have I tried Resistance in their RE3 remake yet? No, I have not. I've not. I don't know if I will, because that's not my thing. But Jim Sterling talked about it and said it was like bad but really fun. So it kind of makes me curious. We'll see. Miguel says, grab some honey and coffee to clear up your voice. That's a good trick, and I do that often, but I'm probably going to do that and actually end the stream as opposed to continue the stream. They could have a series of tubes you can travel through to revisit older areas. Yeah, something like that. I would love more fast-paced elements to the combat in Metroid Prime 4. Yep, some kind of update to the combat. I think they could do it in a way that doesn't compromise the Prime formula, and that's one of the things I expect. So, Fritz says, I love gaming my whole life. If I'm not playing, I'm watching people play or try to find new titles for a good price for my for my huge backlog, but sometimes I can't just can't just set myself to gaming. Sometimes I just can't set myself to gaming. I'm not sure what that means. Can you relate? I can relate in the sense that I love gaming and I love playing it and I don't really watch I'm not a big I don't watch live streamers and I don't really watch let's plays anymore. So I'm not big on watching people game, even though that's huge nowadays. It's one of the reasons you don't see me live stream gaming, because it's not really for me. But I love hearing people talk about games and I love hearing news about games. So yes, I can relate. And Joe R with a super chat. Thank you so much, Joe. Oh my goodness, 2 super chats. I don't get those very often. Loving the content, man. I listen a lot at work. Keep up the great work. Cool. I love the idea of thinking that, my content that I make on YouTube could entertain you guys at work. Cause I totally admit I listen to YouTube at work too sometimes. It's a great way to kind of help the day go by. Cause I do a lot of stuff on the computer all day. And it's a great way to, I listen to podcasts and music and, YouTube stuff. So I'm really glad to hear that I can help entertain you guys sometimes. It's really cool. Next generation console of choice, big dog. So to me, it's all about the games. If we're talking just PS5 and Series X, we'll forget the idea of a new Nintendo console. If we do just PS5 and Series X, my console of choice right now has to be the Xbox because we know more about it. We've seen the thing, and we at least know Halo Infinite is going to launch with it. And I love Halo. So right now, the Xbox is, if I had to pick between one, it would be the Xbox for that reason. But as the launch lineup comes into focus for both consoles, if PS5 has a better launch lineup than Series X, then I would pick the PS5. Because I am a bigger PlayStation fan than Xbox fan, but I just have to base off of the games. And we don't know anything about the stupid PlayStation 5 right now. Sony, God, Sony is being so frustrating, as we all know. So I have to pick Xbox by default, but that could change. Female actor. What are you talking about? Female actor. Animated Metroid would work better than the live action version. Maybe, Austin. Maybe. But a live action that was really good could be really cool. Really, really cool. I would super, super love that. All right. Well, we hit an hour and 5 minutes. And like I said, I have talked my voice out to death. And my girlfriend texted me. She's from the other room. She says, "Would you thank everyone for their kind welcome on the Animal Crossing unboxing video? I realized I never asked you to express my thanks." So there you go. My girlfriend Emily, who you guys saw in that video, she says thank you, because really the response to that was very positive. It was very good. No one was like crappy or mean to Emily, because you kind of worry about that stuff when you go onto the internet. And really positive, warm reception to that Animal Crossing video, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, she's saying thank you. So thank you to you guys from Emily. She very much appreciates it. It was a great video with your girlfriend. Thanks, Miguel. I appreciate that. I will let her know that you said that. That was a lot of fun. So we need her opinions on Animal Crossing now that she's had time to play it. I really think we should make a video about that. So I think we're gonna do that. I think that we will. So all right. I'm gonna bounce. Take care, everybody. Oh my god, at the very end, Moonman Moo with the $10 donation. Thank you so much. He says I'm awesome. Well, you are awesome. I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. And so, yeah, with that, I guess I'll be out. Thank you guys. Everyone stay safe, stay home. If you go out, wear masks, because they're telling everyone to wear masks. It's very important. I don't want anyone getting sick right now. Please be safe. And thanks for tuning into the stream. There's a very good chance I will stream tomorrow, by the way. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.